I don't know. Just in case Megan says anything good for a change. Let me stop. Let me stop. She's an animal. Tyler, I'm gonna talk to you first. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you first. And Jasmine, I was about to text you or email you or fax you. I was like, where the hell has Jasmine been? I ain't seen you up here. Um, you were about to get a fax from my HR department, wondering where you were.
Oh,
But
sorry. I missed you guys, but I'm here now.
yeah, it's good to have you back. Tyler, I want to go over to you real fast, just talking about FIF resets. Okay. Because I don't think it's so much about I don't think it's so much about are they going to close? I need this money for leads, right? Like this annuity, when's it going to fund, right? So I feel like it's for me at least. I don't care to learn how to become an SME. I don't. I don't think you do either. You know, it's above my pay grade. Always will, don't care about it, right? That I like to set it and forget it. You know, I get paid a couple hundred, if not $1,000 from Foresters every Friday. I get paid on Fridays from Foresters for some reason, but all from FIF resets because I never write Foresters, if I can call a spade a spade. Half of it's back end pay. I have no idea where it comes from because I just set it and I forget it. Are you that same way, Tyler, a little bit?
Yeah, it was a learning curve though, definitely, right?
How do you mean?
Um, Definitely was a learning curve for me, and I think we don't understand how much comes in on the back end of an FIF reset, right? So you definitely need to be gracious and have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for SMEs because it was something I learned. All right, I've apologized to several of my SMEs because I was, it's not like a mortgage protection. You write the application, it's instant approved, and oh, good to go, right? It's a process. It takes some time, and it took me setting a couple resets to understand that it took some time because boy, I was wearing the SME out. It's like, hey, what we got going on? You got it finished? When's it going to go through? Going to place this month? We're going to place next month? Place next year? But yeah, set it and forget it, right? At the end of the day, you especially brand new, you don't understand the work that goes in on the back end of an FIF reset. So I have so much respect to the subject matter experts because they put in so much work on the back end that we never see and have no idea about. So yeah, set the reset, let the subject matter expert do their thing, and don't count on that money right now. Okay, it's gonna take some time, especially if it's not if it's not the Live Well Plus. It does take some time. So be very gracious for your subject matter expert. That's kind of my take on it. Set it and forget it. That's for sure.
But Megan, when's it going to go through? I need it for my promotion. You know, I'll be honest with you guys. If you're at 80, 85, or 90, we got to learn how to sell. Okay? We don't need to learn how to just ask one question like, can we be honest this morning? All right. You're probably not good at sales, and you're still not going to be good at sales if you hit your promotion just because of FIF resets. We've got to get good at communication, persuasion, like simple things. You know, I like to, I'm not gonna say I pride myself, but if anybody ever quits my agency, I want them to quit like as a better human being, a better communicator, a better persuader, like a better version of themselves than they were when they got here. Right? I want them to know like if you can win in life insurance sales, honestly, I think if you can figure out how to sell life insurance here, you can sell whatever you want anywhere. That's just me. Granted, that's hypothetical, isn't it, Devin? Because I've never sold anything else anywhere, ever. You know, learn how to recruit by selling life insurance. Um, but for you, Tyler, what's something that because I don't know, and Megan, if you're up here, you can interrupt me, but I know she's working on a boot camp thing with somebody. But for you, Tyler, what is not an FIF reset? Like, let's go over that first because we could talk about what is an FIF reset till we're blue in the face. But like, what is not like what is somebody that you will not put on Megan's calendar? For me, I'll go ahead and tell you, it's like well, they've got a couple insurance policies. They're 87, and I just don't know where I can get them approved to try to replace it myself. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to send it to this SME, this subject matter experts. Like, they're not subject matter experts at the impossible, you know? Like, if they waited till 86 to buy life insurance, they ain't buying it from you regardless. They ain't going to buy it from Jesus himself, okay? If they gave them a death date, they wouldn't buy it. Promise you. They just ain't buying it, right? What about you, Tyler? What's a scenario where it's like not a reset, I guess you could say.
Hmm. What is not a reset?
It's a
Uh,
weird question. Good luck.
it's tough. I know what is a reset. I guess what's not a reset. If you're going through the appointment and they're negative, their bills are completely negative, maybe backwards. They're completely backwards.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You guys want to get out of debt?
yeah, yeah. We're
It ain't
fifteen
gonna
hundred
work.
dollars in the hole, right?
It doesn't cost anything extra. It's like they don't have enough for their regular bills. We like it does cost something extra. It replaces other things. Like they don't have any money. Okay, you know that and somebody that well, that's the main one. You know, like they have to have some capital rolling in. They ain't got to have $1 million or nothing. You know, they unhealthy. Yeah, like it's not great to write a FF reset on their children, you know. Like what do you look for? And Megan, if you're up here, you can interrupt us and tell us to be quiet, but what do you look for, Tyler, if you're in an appointment, we can talk about off the phone call later, but if you're on the appointment and you hear this, you ask this, like for you, what do you feel like that might be that might strike up an FIF reset?
Definitely any money sitting anywhere. I don't care where it's sitting, if it's sitting anywhere. And then if they have a mortgage and three other debts like personal loans, credit cards, student loans, I don't care if they're making overpayments or not because people find ways to pay for things that, they see value in. So just because they're not making overpayments doesn't mean that there's not a way to go out and help them. But yeah, mortgage, three other debts, and any money sitting anywhere.
All right, mortgage, three other debts, and then when you say any money, I mean I got $17 in my checking account. Like, is that enough?
5 grand
Which is
plus.
some money.
Look, I'll challenge you guys on that one. Um,
See, this is why we wait, 9:40 came 4 minutes late today, Megan. Or
I
we
know, I
made
know.
people worse
I
for
was
four
listening to you
minutes. We
guys.
made people worse.
I was lo- I was listening to you guys do such a good job, and that's it. I would say I don't necessarily need three other debts. I need them paying something that's frivolous. So that Starbucks coffee they're willing to spend $7 a day on living paycheck to paycheck, or they'll never retire, but yet they're contributing to their 401k, or they want to retire when they're 45 years old, contributing to their 401k, but they're broke right now. Those are all things that I look for. So you can get pretty creative, but at the same time, it's it's having valuable questions in the very beginning before it comes to the reset. And like so right now my calendar is open for 45 appointments a week, and that's my own appointments, that's resets, that doesn't include my interviews and my follow-up back office, all the stuff. Like I'm willing to work 100 hours a week for myself right now so I don't have to work 100 hours a week for anybody else. So um when I get no showed, like sometimes I'm grateful and other times I'm like, okay, maybe we need to work on the original conversation and get them excited about what they can learn, not as a last resort. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Um, People are going to no show you no matter what. Some people, some people just are not going to show up. I was that person. I realized when we bought our house in 2014, I'm sorry, in 2010, this guy kept calling me. I kept booking appointments with him to get him to quit calling me. And I would book for times that I knew I was still at work. Like I was that asshole. Like, um, but what are we doing to get him excited to the appointment with basic questions? Hey, let me tell you what. Gosh, you know what? Like I really, I don't. Maybe you would want to get out of debt sooner. Like have some doubt. If getting out of debt sooner would help you in the long run, is that something that you might want to learn? Like question yourself when you're asking them. Don't be so confident and they're like, well, yeah, it would. Do you have a plan for that already? Are you open to learning more? See, that was a Jeremy Minor like lead up, right? Um, when somebody no shows you on a mortgage protection appointment, what do you do?
No.
Down to replace.
Okay, you do something, some other IPAs to replace it. Do you blow them up wondering why they didn't show up to the appointment?
Yes.
Huh? Um, so when somebody no shows a reset, I call them twice and then I send a text. Hey, I was excited to show you how you can get out of debt sooner or how you can protect your retirement from losses in this uncertain time, how you can do this. I was looking forward to meeting with you. And then I started thinking, like, maybe that's the wrong approach, right? I never did that with my mortgage protection leads, but eventually they'd pick up the phone. No, last night, Janae Williams we had a no-show. It was 9 o'clock at night Eastern, and she called the guy a couple times and he finally picked up and he was like, yeah, no, I thought this was to lower my mortgage payments. And no, I'm not, nope, not doing this. I need to talk with my fiance. Click. And so we drafted a text. She texted back and said, look, oh, absolutely. We want your fiance involved. You shouldn't make decisions on your own, right? Look, one legger. We didn't even know that he had a fiance leading into this. Just because somebody's not on the mortgage doesn't mean that they shouldn't be in the appointment. Are y'all getting the kids' names? Are you getting the dog's name? You hear the dog barking in the background. Like, I get the dumbest things because it's a connection to them. If I can call the fiance by her name when she shows up, she's gonna respect me a lot more than this other woman that knows her husband's name or fiance's name, right? Like, you have to build that quick trust. But it's got to be valuable in some way. What are they currently doing? It's okay to find out if they're living paycheck to paycheck. Are all the bills getting paid every month, or we're choosing between the cell phone bill and the power? Are we living paycheck to paycheck because we're Ubering to work because the car's broken down and we can't afford to fix it? Like, I'll throw a Hail Mary if you're we did this actually. It was Rosa and I back in the spring. This woman hadn't had hot water for a whole year because she couldn't afford to get the slab torn up and have it replaced, but yet she had $27,000 in her 401k at 57 years old and thought she'd never retire. We threw a Hail Mary. We borrowed from the 401k, got her hot water so she had some dignity, and then we stopped contributing to the 401k, and she's getting out of debt in 7 years on a 30-year mortgage where she thought she could never retire. Sometimes it's being creative with solutions. I'm not a financial advisor, but I can number, right? The math's got a math and we'll figure out the math. We just got to find more numbers. So questions get into the appointment. It's not just, are they interested in getting out of debt? Sometimes they're perfect. They are completely secure. Their financial advisor is taking care of. What's that objection? Oh, I already have a financial advisor. What's your rebuttal for that?
Depends on what kind of mood I'm in, honestly. If I'm in the smart ass mood of like, oh my God, you guys don't, Jesus, you don't pay somebody to lose your money, do you? Like, I'm just a smart ass at heart. Like, I've said things like that. It depends on if it's a client, like if I'm working my book or if I'm working, actually, it doesn't really matter. I'll probably just say whatever comes to my head.
I mean, I'm a smart ass too, Luke, but the thing is, like, I'm not replacing their financial advisor. Like, they do what I don't and I do what they don't. The financial advisor life insurance is the last of the financial plan they're ever going to talk about. Why? Because the financial advisor is very, very slim chances that they're actually a licensed insurance agent, right? Are you talking about stocks on your appointment? No, you're talking about insurance, right? So they're going to talk about what benefits them and what's going to get them paid, not what's getting the other guy paid. Why should we have insurance and $1 million in the bank? Anybody know? You got $1 million in the bank and your financial advisor is managing that. I hope you don't lose, but why do we do that? Why should we have insurance too?
So we don't lose that $1 million.
Okay, let's say that it's in low low risk. Read the
Probably
chat.
have to pay taxes on it.
Pay taxes, yeah, but why else? Y'all ever had somebody die and try to get the money out of the bank?
Hmm.
Probate. Probate alone, man. I'm glad you have $1 million. What's your plan for when that takes 6 months to get transferred over? I have one that this woman, they were actually the largest annuities I've ever done for a family. We ended up doing about 5 million for the family in a couple weeks, but her son died in 2022 and she came to me January 2025. They still weren't able to get any of his funds, so they were paying out of pocket. They ended up selling their house and moving into his house because they didn't want to lose his house. Probate, bridging that gap. If you die intestate and somebody can't find the will, like you're going to court and it's as long as the court takes to get that released. I'm listed as spouse to my my ex-husband that died back in June. And I got a letter in the mail this week about probate and they need me to sign this form. I am not like, I don't want anything. I don't care. But because I was listed as spouse on everything, they won't release the bank accounts to his family. They need me to sign off on it. It's not a priority for me. I don't really care. I wasn't a priority for him. He's not going to be a priority for me now. But then I'm thinking like, oh, that's really crappy with his family. You know, I gave it to them all and they still can't get it. Probate takes time. So like, bridge that gap. Even if it's a smaller life insurance policy, think about the critical period. Right? It's not that the mortgage company needs the full amount. They want the payment next month. So it's not all just throw Hail Marys for resets when it's not a good fit for mortgage protection. Finding out, do they have extra money or are they contributing to their retirement? One or the other. Like, I'm not going to take away from their retirement, but if they didn't have their bills and they need less in retirement, right? What's the other plan? I have a guy, actually, Jordan's guy, he's contributing a ton to his retirement. He's putting a ton in savings, but he wants to retire at 50. Why are you putting into your retirement if you want to retire at 50? How are we bridging that gap? Kelly Kehoe, her husband wants to retire in 5 years. Like, okay, why are we still aggressively putting into 401k? Why don't we lower that? And now we get out of debt 2 years sooner and you're out of debt in 4 years and you can retire. Like, sometimes it's being creative there, but it's knowing how to ask the questions when you're in the actual appointment or how to ask the questions when you're on the phone. I'll take a not interested all day long if we set it up properly and you know that they're excited enough to show up for me. And I'm sure Tristan, Aaron, any other resetter on this team would feel the exact same way. Are we coming to the table with value for them that they're excited to learn and we're not having to lock them in a trunk? Tristan, you got your hand raised.
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback on something I thought was good. You were talking about probate, and I don't think people realize just how many hundreds of thousands of dollars just on the life insurance side that valuable was. I didn't realize until recently. I went through this personally with my wife's grandmother, helping them with their estate, and she had no debt. She had nothing, and I had no idea that you had to. You had to list everything for debtors for even the first 90, I think it's what, 90 days, Megan, 90 days before you can touch any assets. I had no idea this. 90 days that they cannot touch anything. Her father had to pay everything out of pocket, even though she had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars stored away, no debts, home paid. I mean, the perfect retirement scenario you could think of. They could not touch any of her money. They had to list, and she didn't have no debts, and they knew she didn't have no debts. But how it states is because if it's over a threshold of 20,000 in the state of North Carolina, 20,000, which ain't no money, you have to list that for in the papers for almost as 90 days, right, Megan?
Yep.
Before you can touch anything. So that's so important, guys, not only for a reset, but when you're sitting with a client, when they say, "Oh, we've got this, we've got it handled," really, so you can afford, if it's you can afford to wait 90 days and pay all the bills, even though she has retirement accounts, everything's paid for, and you can maintain that without having anything else in place. And I guarantee you, you want to know why I know this? Her father was blown away when he figured he didn't need the money. He was just like, "What do you mean I can't access this?" And Megan, he had transferred half ownership to everything. His mom done this 10 years ago thinking that they could beat this stuff and they still had to go through it. Perfect scenario. I mean, they done everything they thought that was right. That's not how it plays when it comes to the law. So it's like those are really good questions to learn, not as a newbie, but as you add this to your arsenal, guys, it just helping people with mortgage protection. That would add hundreds of thousands. I bet you my first 3 years or 2.5 years, I lost at this point probably easily 50 grand in APV, 50 grand in APV just due to stuff like that. Like, oh, okay, you're good. You got this much money in the bank, or you got, and just blew off the mortgage protection because I thought they were good. But that's not the case. I
It's
just love you talking about that. I don't feel like we talk about that enough.
yeah, um I love that you brought that up because that's the case. Like if there's two people on a bank account, like that other spouse can't know if it's reported that that person died, like it doesn't just transfer on death. Like if there's not a TOD listed, it's the both of them required to sign off. Well, if one's not here, it's going through probate. It's there's so many things that you learn, and unfortunately, like and I guess fortunately, we learn so we can transfer this knowledge to our clients at the same time. You know, if they have money in the bank, that's great. What's your plan? What's your plan when your family can't get in touch with that? What's your 6 month plan? My Dana Else, my best friend, her mom, when her husband died, same thing. They were on everything together. It took 18 months before she could touch that money. So not only did it, she could prove that half of that money was her. She was actually the breadwinner, but because he was on her accounts, it was locked. She couldn't touch it. And then you're paying taxes on the probate. You're paying the fees on the probate. Ohio is 5%, depends on Virginia how it's listed. But you don't know, like just because they have money in the bank, if it's not cash, they can't touch it. And if it's cash and it's, God forbid, I hate to say this, but like they were murdered or something, there was some kind of investigation of foul play in the house, they're not even able to get into the house to get the cash. So just know all those things. Um Tristan, I think you kind of cracked some codes and hacked the system. You're getting people interested by what it does, not what it is, right? Your Facebook, like you're I love the trunk one, but the IULs and like being your own bank, like people are watching, and I'm watching your engagement on those too. Like that's what's captivating people. So if we have 30 seconds on the phone with somebody, what is your one tagline that you are getting them that they're like, yes, I want that? It doesn't have anything to do with insurance. It's about learning and the education part. Because I'll educate them all day long. It's getting them there, right? What is going to get them to show up? What is your lockdown for that? Like if you don't know your tagline and you can't just like spout it out quickly, then you need to practice. And I think bonus leads are the best place to reset because they haven't been in front of somebody for a while. They got their finances together to buy a house, and now it's 4 years later. Their finances are in shambles again. They either learned when they bought the house or they didn't. So,
Megan, I'm gonna piggyback on that. I know it's 10:01, but I think this is important, and I think we realize this. Like I think you started early in this, so you've seen this for a long time before I ever did. But I swear to goodness, guys, when I say that when I got my life insurance license, I was just like, oh, I got a 20-hour pre-licensing course. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel. But guys, you hold such a heavy weight to change people's lives with that license, and how you show up like a professional says everything about you. And I say that and saying is like Like, ask yourself, like, and I might go out on a limb on what I'm about to say. Megan might stop me. I know it's 10:01, but it's like, how do you present yourself? Like, would somebody roll over $2 million with you?
Mm-hmm.
Does your Facebook say that?
Mm.
Do you carry yourself that way? Do you know what I mean? Like, you have that power, but does and I'm just saying, like, think about these things. You're in business for yourself, and you're trying to tell somebody how to get out of debt, how to build wealth. And when you look at your overall scape of things, they're like, yeah, okay, right. So think about, you're building a business with your last name on it, and ask yourself, if you had $1 million in the bank, would you do business with you? See, on these calls, I think we can hide behind stuff, but how much money are you leaving out on the table, letting people know what you do? And does your profile, does your lifestyle mimic that as far as how you show up like a professional? Not what you got in the bank, because who you're becoming, what you're manifesting is true, but how you present yourself says everything. So I would challenge you on that, guys. Like, you have the power to change your business in a lot of different ways, and it's all about how you show up and treating this thing serious, man. That 20-hour pre-licensing course you got is the barrier to change and break the chains in people's lives and the cycles in people's lives. So that's
No,
all.
I think you're right on, Tristan. It's not just appearances. It's where you are, where you're branding yourself, right? How are you branding yourself? Are you that desperate life insurance agent? Because I've been there, trust me. And I didn't start in life insurance. I started in the advanced markets, but it was like, you really need to buy this IUL. I mean, I would tell them what it was doing, but I was working with corrections in Virginia. But I trained in California where they're making, $1,000, $1,500 a month contributions to their 401k. And in Virginia, they got a second job to be able to pay the bills. And they're depositing 30 in their 401k a month. So you gotta know your audience, but you gotta have posture too. That goes for everything, any kind of insurance. If you don't have posture as the expert day one, you don't have to know everything. Most experts don't know everything about everything. They know who to ask. They know how to ask questions. And I am, my pride used to get in the way. I was afraid to tell a client that I didn't know the answer. They're going to respect you a whole lot more when you tell them you don't have the answer, but you know somebody who does. Give me just a second. Let me call my buddy Luke. Luke's been doing this longer than me, and he might have an answer. Yeah, hey Luke, I'm on with a client really quick. I know you may know this. They were just asking me what happens with blah blah blah. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put you on speaker really quick. Is that okay? And I put on speaker and I let them hear from Luke directly as the expert. And then now they're going to respect me more because I went to the expert. So it's not just with reset. I'm talking like basic mortgage protection as well. Do you ever 911 your mentor and get them on the phone and have somebody else tell them? Do you unmute in the open office and ask for help in the Mac room when you don't have an answer?
And here's the thing, Megan. Do you know how much you daggone learn from doing that? Like, I learned so many one-liners, so many quality questions. I remember I was sitting at Antonio Bunn's kitchen table with him and his wife Rebecca. This is 6 years ago. And I thought that I had it closed, but I just wanted to make sure. So I called Devin anyway. And the guy looks across the table at me and he's like, "That guy's good." He's like, "You had me sold on this." I was like, "Oh, all right, gotta go, Devin." Right. But I still wanted to make sure, right? I still wanted to learn more. Like that's the thing. It's like ego is the enemy in this game. I can tell you that. Like, call your uplines, call your downlines if you don't know what you're doing. Hey, I've done that before too.
Yep. Yeah, me too. I'm sideline, cross line, downline, brand new agent. Hey, do you remember the insurance law for blah blah blah? I don't remember. I couldn't pass that test. Last thing I'll say, um, when sometimes if you know the answer and you ask somebody else, it is like Luke, I'm with you. I had a lot of no sales in person, and I packed up, was leaving, and Dana told me if I don't call from the home this time, then she's firing me. I didn't know she couldn't fire me. So I called from the home as I'm at the front door, packed up. We sat back down and I wrote an application. Like, know where you are. That was the very first in the last Americo application I ever wrote. Not because I don't like Americo, it just wasn't in my forte. Like I'm a Foresters girl, but that was the only policy I have with Americo until IUL. I do have a couple IULs with them for permanent coverage, but there's a need for something, and asking the questions, being confident, posture, make sure your brand is on point, and that your social media isn't talking about going to the club. It's about being a professional, because they look you up. They Google you. Check your Google. What does it say? Does it have your speeding ticket misdemeanors as number one? Because you might want to figure out how to get those pushed a little bit further down. So the first thing they see is that that you help families. So I was in, and that's how I started with corrections. And my number one, you search my name, and I was a speed racer when I was younger. So yeah, that's that was the first thing that popped up, that I'm just a criminal. So I had to fix that real quick, put some higher things up there. So I appreciate you guys all. I hope you have a great day, and Strick, I'm waiting for another video, man. And not like that has been like, did Strickland post a video? Like, what did he post today? What he's got? So I appreciate you for sure. Thank you, Luke, as always. And I I think y'all are getting better at this. You're feeling more confident. We'll just keep moving. So see y'all next week.
See you guys.